All right, welcome back, traders. Let's see. Okay. Oh, wow. Something just happened like right now. That's crazy. Well, Tether holding the daily and 3 days support, looks like. And a Bitcoin is probably not going to like that. We had something like this plotted. We had originally thought we were going to get a rally up to like this 105 region, and then maybe roll over from there. But let's see. So the weekly close here. Yeah, I mean, not like the worst weekly candle close. We're obviously still bear flagged pretty hard down here. So we had an attempted rally earlier this week up to about 98K. Remember, we're still in the Gaussian channel, right? So as soon as we kind of broke into this Gaussian channel, we always have issues getting out of it. So the thesis is still the same, although we were hoping to see some sort of rally, maybe even up to like I said, this 103 region, meet above this median line on the weekly. There's even like last bear market or last cycle, we rallied a bit above it, right, up to about 47K. So I still think that's a possibility to have happen. Okay, but we'll kind of monitor and see how this goes. The weekly here on Tether, and we just opened this candle right now. So yeah, I mean, last week's candle, we have a bit of a wick, right, on this candle. So we're going to see how this kind of plays out too. We did get a weekly MACD cross down, which is why I'm leaning towards the upside in this market, at least for a bit. But yeah, we'll see. I still think that the easiest thing you can really do as a trader right now is just looking at the Tether range, right? So right now we're towards the top of a trading range, right? And so, and a lot of these cryptos are like oversold on weekly RSI. Yeah, we'll look at gold and silver too. A lot of them are oversold on weekly time frames and 3-day RSIs, which, in my experience, those are really great times to buy assets. Okay. Does it mean they can't go lower? No. I'm just going to continue to say the same things. You know, as long as Tether is within this range, I think it's okay to look for long positions or start building long positions, or at least swing long positions. I'm not talking about day trades here. It doesn't mean that they can't go lower. Like I said, no, it doesn't mean that at all. Like if this starts breaking out of here and does that, well, you're going to have to either cut your position or wait for this movement to finish and dollar cost average your positions more. So it just depends on what kind of exposure you have to the market and what you're okay with dealing with in terms of downside risk. All right. Okay, that pretty much covers it. So if we're gonna get continued drawdown right here, then we already know what's to come. We just need to monitor what's happening up here at 6.47%. which that's like $80,000 Bitcoin. Okay. Cool. We'll look at silver, which is still running 92.5. We're coming into a major 1272 Fibonacci level here. This thing is completely parabolic, though. There's nothing really to talk about in terms of buying silver or whatever. No, it's not. It's not something that looks equitable to start building a long position on. No, the time to do that was down here at the $20 to $30 level off this higher low, or even here on this break of this region here in 2024, you could have picked up some silver at $30. The interesting thing I wanted to also cover, though, is with talking about gold and silver, is if you look at the gold to silver ratio, silver is actually still quite heavily undervalued against gold. Okay, historically, the ratio in 2011, that was after the 2008 crash, okay, when gold and silver went on their runs, the ratio was about 31. So 31 ounces of gold per silver ounce. Okay. So I'm actually looking for that ratio to get retested, meaning silver should drastically outperform gold in these next few months, or even however long this move is. I guess you do have this demand line here at 42. So yeah, it just depends on how steep this is going to go. All right. But I'd be looking for that on the gold to silver ratio. Cool. Gold. Yeah, gold probably going to continue. I'm probably going to continue against the dollar here. You broke out of like a massive rising wedge structure. And yeah, I mean, at some point it's gonna pull back. I think that this might even be the trajectory longer term into like the 2030s, something like that. Okay. I'm not suspecting a long wedge type structure with the amount of inflation that is potentially coming our way with all this debt we have. They're going to have to continue printing money. So gold and silver and precious metals are probably going to continue higher. Copper also going to probably continue higher. I think copper is also very undervalued right now. Copper is actually undervalued because it's not a precious metal, but it's an industrial metal. So copper looking like it wants to go a lot higher. We'll see about that. Okay. Yeah, platinum, the same thing, right? Platinum breaking its all-time high here. This is just starting its move in relation to gold and silver, already broken out and going parabolic. Palladium, same thing, lagging behind platinum, right? It's a derivative of platinum. Nickel looks really cheap, relatively speaking, to the rest of them. Yeah, that's really it. Yeah, crypto is probably going to continue taking a beating. Oh yeah, you got this long-term trend line here that we're watching here on Bitcoin. If this breaks, we're most certainly probably going to like $60,000. That's what that means. Somewhere over there. All right. Let's look at the futures market. It's probably down too, I would imagine. If Bitcoin's down, the futures are probably down. Yeah, almost down a full percent. That trend line held during FTX. Let's take a look. Yeah, so that trend line is where it actually bottomed in 2022, right off the trend line. So during COVID didn't quite get to it. We wicked close to it. Yeah. So if this breaks, I think we're in some trouble. We'll probably do this 60,000 test or whatever, 70,000. Like basically, it's very clear that this region right here is going to get tested, right? And there's a major monthly support right here at 60K. So it'll probably come down to that, and we'll probably get a major rally off that. I would have to assume we will get a major bounce there. All right. Yeah. I mean, historically speaking, previous all-time high regions were bottoms, you know. And minus the 2018 run, right? Like this thing didn't even come down even close to the previous all-time high. But these structures and cycles are getting weaker, right? So the 2022 end of bear was basically it breached it a little. It breached it a bit, 15K or something, right? What's up, dude? Yeah, so this trend line here is a pretty big deal if we lose it. We haven't lost it just yet on the high time frame on the monthly chart. But not a good open here on the week. And you know, this right here is like bear flag stuff still. Yeah, however you want to draw that, but yeah, I mean, you can see it's trying to start to curl up there, right? But we're rejecting the median of the Gaussian right now. I mean, we did something similar back here in 22, but we actually ended up getting above it. So I was actually thinking we were going to get above it. I was thinking that we would even make it up to like 100, maybe even up to here to like 105, that region there. But we'll see how it plays out. We did get a weekly buy signal last week, and we did get a weekly MACD cross. Excuse me. So we did get the weekly MACD to cross, and we did get a weekly buy signal on Bitcoin. So, excuse me. I don't necessarily think that this upside move is entirely done, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and we'll see. There's not really much else to talk about. The 5-day Gaussian channel hasn't flipped red yet like it did back here in 2022. So that's good, I guess. And the longer we stay below it, though, the more likely it is to eventually flip. So we got to get some power moves back up is what we got to do. 525 million worth of longs liquidated in past 60 minutes. Nice. Great job. Great job. Way to start the week. A nice low volume trading day tomorrow, and they start the week with tariff stuff. Nice. Cool. Very good. Yeah. All right. We'll see how this this kind of plays out. But yeah, so you can see that Tether actually flipped the Gaussian channel here as support, right? You can see that here on the weekly time frame, where we've only done that like I guess we did it, almost did it right here in the last bear market. And you can start to see that this is starting to flip green too. That's not good. Why is 61K such a big level? There's probably a lot of trading volume there from last cycle and this cycle. We had a tough time kind of breaking above that level during this consolidation, if you recall. But yeah, it's just a major support. It's also confluent with the monthly Gaussian channel right here too, which is very interesting. And if you look back on previous cycles, like the monthly Gaussian, like the edge of it here usually was bottoms, which is interesting in these last cycles. But you can see that it getting weaker because last time we came into the median. I'm assuming this time we're probably going to come into the median or maybe even down to the bottom of it. I would say worst case scenario. It really just depends on how bad this bear market is going to be. So it's kind of crazy to me though. Like some of these altcoins are so destroyed. Like a lot of them are really just absolutely annihilated. Let's take a look at ETH. So ETH actually looks okay. Like ETH is actually holding its median above its median Gaussian channel, unlike Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. Okay. I mean, if Bitcoin's going to crash, like this is probably not going to be able to do anything. But we also did just get a weekly cross on ETH. We got a weekly clipping here on ETH. The 2-week, not so much. The high time frames, not so much. The quarterly which was what I was always looking at. The quarterly stochastics are still ticked up. Now, the end of this quarter, this could just end up getting rejected here and this cross back down, right? If it's not bullish action, that's probably what it's going to print. And you can see the MACD kind of also losing, it's trying to hang on to this momentum here. But you can see that it's very close to losing it, right? So let's see how this plays out. Doesn't really look that good right now across the board. Okay. That's pretty much all I got. So some more tariffs to stir up the market and create the next floor or something, or crush the markets some more with this uncertainty stuff. Although like these charts were already looking kind of weak, right? So it's not really a surprise, but we were thinking we were going to get a little bit more of a relief rally in this market here in these next couple of weeks. But yep, we just gotta just monitor that quarterly candle is a bullish engulfing candle, and we've basically come back down to retest or close to retest this previous support is what we've done. But yeah, we're still locked into this range right now. right? Like I've been saying, we're still in the same range. And yeah, if we start breaking out of this range, we're going to see some pain. We're going to see some more pain. So take it however you like. What it means is lower prices. Lower prices are, could be a good thing to see if you want to buy lower, right? That's, always what you want to do. You want to be dollar cost averaging into assets that you like at a lower price so that you can capture whatever upside action later on. So it just depends on how you are viewing it. Right this very moment. I also had this plotted too, which I thought was interesting. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to play out by any means. With some of those high time frames looking the way they do, we're gonna see some volatility, right? So yeah, we did come up to, on the monthly, we did come up to the the really bullish, extremely bullish control zone, like the 59 region here on the RSI, and you can kind of plot and see this is like a channel. So you don't want to long channels until they actually break out of them, right? So that's why I was thinking we were going to get a bit more relief rally here, but we may not. But yeah, until we really start breaking that range high, I don't think there's really too much to be concerned about until this starts breaking, until this starts really candling out of here, which looks like it's probably going to do this week. Or it's going to try to. We have some daily bullish divergence down here. Yeah. A bounce off the neutral zone on the 2-day and the 3-day here. It's up, toe. Yeah, it's so I guess what this really means is this is gonna flick back long at the end of the week if this gets some upside action. Alts are wrecked. I agree. They are wrecked. But if Bitcoin is gonna get more wrecked, then the alts are just gonna get even more wrecked. Right? So that's the tricky thing here. That's the tricky thing here. So if this was really our only attempted rally at this move, then this thing is just going to roll over here. Yeah, we're going to see 74K. We're going to bounce there. We're probably going to come back up to like 80s or maybe back test this region here and get rejected and then just kind of just work our way down. Okay. That's what it would. That's what it'll look like if we breach the structure. All right. Not pretty. Not pretty. But you have like, gaming coins like Axie Infinity trying to rally out of here. This thing is green on the day right now. Amazing. We did get a weekly counter trend here at the bottom of it. There's some alts that are really, really beat up, man. Like Polkadot is wrecked. This looks like it's probably just gonna come further down. It didn't. There's really no support here. It just kind of rallied off this oversold. It was just an oversold rally. Assets that don't have any structures aren't going to necessarily really hold up very well in an environment like this. Clanker was one that is in a structure, but another, 2 failed attempted rallies into the major moving averages like that. Yeah, it doesn't look good. It looks pretty bad. Pretty bad. So, yeah, the downside volatility that we're going to see, especially if we get further sell-off here, isn't going to be pretty for these alts. They're just going to get completely hosed and wiped out, even more so than they are. Not good news. Not good news. I would assume that all the Bitcoin miner stocks are going to get wrecked tomorrow too, if Bitcoin's going to be doing that. I mean, a lot of the risk on assets are going to get probably hosed tomorrow. The dollar index doesn't really look like it's that strong right now. If this thing is under 100, you can't really be that bullish on the dollar index, right? But yeah, it looks like the S&P is, it's up there, man. It's up there. Probably got a gap down here tonight. Yeah, on that tariff news. But you could already see that it was, we made this new all-time high. We attempted to rally into it, failed. Friday's close wasn't really the best. It was just an attempted rally back up and nothing burger. It looks like, I mean, they're going to probably try to pop this back up, or maybe back to, this is maybe going to become resistance now. And this is going to come down probably to test the bottom of this range here. This was, well, the April tariff crash was this. This was an ABC down. So if we do something similar to this, we're going to be looking at something like this. And it could be back to like the 62s, 63s on the S&P. That's what it could potentially do. And this area makes sense because this is where we broke out from. So something like that could occur. And Bitcoin would probably get really wrecked if that happened. So that's really it. All right. For that, you guys want to talk about any other assets? I mean, there's not really much to talk about when the market's doing this right now. Yeah. Much like the streams are dead. RR. Yeah, I think tech's gonna come down a bit. Yeah, I'd watch out on this one, man. You got a monthly sell signal on this bad boy. I would look for deep retraces, man. Like the 618, even the 786. I would look for double bottoms or higher low double bottoms on something like this. Yeah, I would see how the price kind of reacts in this range. You're stuck in this range right now. Yeah, I mean, you trade the ranges too, right? But you could kind of see that you had a volume climax here into this top or into this high. I think you're on the right path with the robotics stuff for sure. I was looking more so at energy. I think energy sector is gonna do well here in the next 6 months to a year or 2 years out. So I've been cool. Yeah, like I said, from a technical point of view, I mean, your monthly RSI isn't really in heat or anything. Your weekly is kind of bullish. Yeah, I mean, the weekly here is you got some bull div on the stochastics that looks interesting. Yeah, I'd watch for this neckline. If it breaks, then yeah, cool. You're gonna go a lot higher if that breaks. Yeah, just try to buy at bottoms of ranges if you can. It's tough to sit here and be like, hey man, it's gonna drop to like 70 cents. I don't know, dude. If the stock market drops, then there's no reason why this stock isn't going to drop with it. But you can kind of clearly see that there's some sort of channel or some sort of demand line here that you're in, that you're bouncing off of right now. Right. And this divergence that's starting to play out, you're so far making a lower high than this high. This might be construed as some sort of bearish pennant right now, or like a channel or something, and maybe you come back down one more time to test this demand line, and then you get the move out of here or something. Yeah, I'd watch for that if that holds. If it doesn't hold, then you know where you're going. You're going to like $1.78s, and you're breaking the structure, and then you're going to come back up and mean revert and make another lower high, and then you're going to do this for a while and maybe be stuck in this range, and then maybe there's a big crash coming. I don't know, dude, how this is going to play out. There's not a lot of data on this chart, but you kind of get the idea that this $2 level looks like it was a major support that took you up to about $7-8, and you're kind of smack dab in the middle of these ranges here. Probably not the best, most equitable place to pick this one up. I would be looking, like I said, for this $1.25 region, like this zone here. If it ever gets down there, I think that might be a good zone to look at. Like this zone here. Okay. And if it really does give you an opportunity, I look for the 786, 886, these regions down here. Okay. There's no guarantee it's going to get down there, but what I'm saying is those would be probably really good areas of value to pick this asset up on. I was looking at a low capper. I was looking at New Fortress Energy, and I don't know if this company is even profitable. I don't know if it really even matters. What matters is that it's just very low risk on the chart. It's at the bottom, stone bottom of a range. You have receding volume down here. Maybe you're going to get a wedge break potentially on something like this. Yeah, I don't know. This might just fail also because you're just in a continued downtrend too. So this is a high risk asset, but at a low risk area. So could very easily manage a stop loss here down here at like $1.15, whatever. Fuel cell was looking still decent down here. We were talking about this for a while. We gave the double bottom entry at $4. It ran all the way up to 12 and came back down, and it's just ping-ponging right now between these ranges. But if you look at high time frame stuff, you know, you're still pretty much down at the lows. You're trying to reclaim this 950. If this thing ever reclaims 950, man, I think you got a good shot at running back up to $30 on this stock. Okay, that's a big trade in my opinion. That's a big move. All right, end phase. I think you guys know about end phase. We're getting a monthly counter trend. We don't really print those very often. When we do, we get them very seldomly. And okay, we got this big bounce, and then this was like one more crash or correction here before this thing just took off. So we could do something like that where we get this bounce in this trend line, and we make one more dip, and then just break out of this wedge or something. Okay, so I'd keep your eye on something like this, especially with the monthly RSI down here. Okay, a very equitable place to be long-term swing trading something. All right. It's very close to an RSI breakout, all that stuff. It all actually looks pretty good here in terms of the technicals on the chart. It's not all doom and gloom, but, you know, it's the Mag 7's probably going to get hosed. So, yeah, we'll see how this plays out. And then back to the crypto land for a second. It's just, again, very clear. We're in this range. We had a breakout. We're back testing the breakout right now. And if this gets continuation, you know what's happening to Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market. It's just going to drop. If this back test fails and it does something like this and it makes a lower high and it confirms another lower high, it could do something like that. Or at least back to like the mid-range or the meter support area, okay? So that's kind of something that I'm paying attention to because, well, we all know that it's doing something similar to what it did back in 2021, where we had this crash and we're getting this relief rally, which we're in the midst of right now, or it's maybe ending right now. We're about to find out real quick here what it's about to do. And we're also skirting along a long-term trend line here that Bitcoin really has historically never breached. So if this gets breached, man, I think you're losing a lot of technical structure on Bitcoin long-term. We can look at Netflix, yeah. Okay, well, yeah, Netflix has pulled back a bunch. I would look at like $68. You know, this seems makes the most sense. Okay, yeah, you have this support region here. You might get a bounce off this or something around this $83 level. But if the NASDAQ and the indices are going to pull back, there's no reason why this isn't going to continue to pull back. The area that makes the most sense right now is $67 to me. But yeah, you're beginning to be weekly oversold RSI, right? These are usually areas where you want to start considering maybe buying Netflix or really a lot of assets. But let's go to like the monthly chart for a second. So the monthly chart, yeah. So during that April tariff crash, the monthly RSI went oversold. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so you're not even close to the monthly RSI being oversold. You are getting a monthly reset on momentum, though. You are getting a monthly reset on momentum, though. So I think it is entirely possible to see $70 Netflix. All right. And if it just starts bouncing and reversing here, then so be it. What it could do is it could just It could bounce a little bit. You could get some relief rally or something. You know, I guess the other thing to really pay attention to here is look at the volume. You got a lot of volume. You got the volume that's really, this thing's been going up on really low trading volume comparatively to like 2011. Just something I see. You can see that the volume is declining. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, long-term trend line here. I mean, look at Netflix, long-term trend line. It's like one big channel. Wow. Okay, yeah. So like, why can't you do this? Like even to the 50s, right? Into the channel. And then you get another leg out or something into the end of the year. Right? So maybe Q1, it just finishes off this major correction that it's doing, and then into the end of this year, you see Netflix kind of recover and do that type of move back out. But it's a very clear channel up structure on Netflix, and you're probably going to get bids into this region here, $60, $70 region here. So I pay attention to that. All right. But yeah, and Netflix is one of the most profitable companies. They generate lots of revenue. Probably not a bad long-term thing to have in your portfolio. All right. I think that's really all I got for this evening. Yeah, the altcoin market is pretty hosed right now. Everything looks pretty hosed. Wow, this ALCH coin is still trying to rally, man. This thing's nuts. This is a very interesting asset. It's been trying to rally this whole downtrend. Interesting. Well, all right. Yeah, keep your eye on Axie Infinity. This thing looks like it's still got some juice, maybe. Pay attention to that. There's a big volume spike that came in here over the weekend in this thing. This thing is very, very wrecked. Very, very wrecked. It just printed a monthly clip. So, and then of course the metals. The metals are still running. They're running it. Silver to Bitcoin chart right now just broke out on the monthly momentum wave. I mean, that's a wedge break on the silver to Bitcoin ratio. Yeah, I would assume it's probably going to get up to this 0.14 region. That's about a 40% move for silver against Bitcoin. That means Bitcoin might drop, silver might continue its run. Yeah, the metal's looking pretty strong right now. They're all in major breakouts, so crushing crypto land, that is for sure. Gold to Bitcoin here broke the monthly downtrend. I mean, the supply zone up here is at 0.11. Well, yeah, they started selling treasuries, dude. All these countries are selling treasuries for gold and silver. They don't want our debt anymore, man. I shouldn't say they don't want our debt. They don't want our short-term debt. Or they don't want our long-term, they don't want our long-term debt. So all right, well, we'll see. Not the best start to the week, of course. Well, we haven't really had any. What a dump. Yeah. I mean, as long as we make higher lows than 90K, I think we're okay. We'll see how this goes. Like I said, I still think that it's possible and plausible for us to go back up to test the daily 200 moving average, which is around 100K. Whether or not it happens or not is a completely different conversation. But I would like to think that we're going to get something like this up to even maybe 108 potentially. And we'll make this nasty head and shoulders pattern, and then we'll come back down to the neckline here and get a bullshit bounce, and then we'll collapse probably. If this is the scenario that's going to play out. But historically speaking, once we're in the Gaussian channel, it's bad news for Bitcoin and really anything related to crypto. So that's what it is. As soon as we started closing here, remember around 107, we were talking about it when it was happening there, where we had this wick, and then weak sauce. All right, I got nothing else to really talk about aside from how crappy these markets look right now. Just chill, maybe trade some of the metals, build some positions maybe in energy. I think those are going to be pretty solid here over the next 6 months to a year. Look at this stock. EOS Energy is about to break its $18 region. This looks like just one massive accumulation structure that is playing out. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you to buy it now, but yeah, I mean, this was 70 cents a share. You know what looked good also? Some of these defensive stocks like Firefly Aerospace. This one was looking interesting. I mean, there's no real structure on something like this, aside from it broke this downtrend and back tested it. It looks like it's going to continue to rally. So yeah, this might have some legs. The top of the range here is $70. I would monitor that. Looks like there's still some upside on this. You know, you got your Lockheed Martins, right? Yeah. Lockheed Martin looks pretty strong too. I mean, this is a long-term. I mean, just look at this chart. It's just up only, man. Up and to the right. First Solar Energy up here. I mean, I wouldn't really look to long this thing up here, but if you get a substantial pullback on something like this, maybe. Chevron was looking decent here. It's in some sort of accumulation structure, bull flag, you know, coiling up on the monthly. That looks good. It's a slow mover, though. It's not like, doesn't have really high volatility. You know, next era energy here. I mean, we were talking about this a while ago. The quarterly time frame looks pretty good on it. Looks like it's got a lot of upside. The quarterly MACD just crossed up. They offer a yield, I believe. You know, a 2.71% dividend. Nothing to write home about, but you know, look at this chart, just up only. Exxon probably broke its highs. Yeah. So Exxon's in price discovery. These are blue chip energy stocks, right? So I think the energy sector is good. Bloom Energy here just broke out. Wow. Yeah. Very nice patterns here on energy. Yeah, there's just plenty of other things to look at aside from like crypto and tech. I think crypto and tech are going to get walloped here for a bit while there's other sector rotations going on. That's it, I guess. Oh yeah, the biotech sector was looking decent. What else were we looking at here? Yeah, iron's still pretty strong here. So SMCI, I think, is something that maybe looking pretty good down here. Okay. Nice consolidation range. You're at the bottom of a range on the weekly. Getting a reset down here. Got some bids coming in on Friday on it. Okay. The high time frame was a little bit, yeah, I don't know, but like this MACD crossing down here, but you're like just hovering in the neutral zone right now. Okay. Right. I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a bearish thing when you get consolidation after, well, I don't know, a mega parabolic move. Yeah, so you could trade this range pretty good. $60 to $30. You could double your money every time you buy the bottom of the range. Sounds good to me. Cool. Yeah, so there's plenty of things to trade, guys. Just got to keep your eyes open to things. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoy the stream. Catch you guys next week. Hopefully Bitcoin kind of hangs on here. But yeah, we'll see how it does. All right. Catch you guys next week, guys. Yeah, it is a holiday tomorrow. They're gonna wreck crypto during a holiday tomorrow for sure, on a low trading day to wipe out all these longs. All right. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful week. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Hey everyone, you've landed on the Swing Trade Pros website here. My name is Mr. Know-It-All. I've been an active swing trader for over 7 years. I want to welcome you guys all to the community here. My goal is to change 1 million people's lives with swing trading and trading profitably. This is a skill set you can learn here with the service. Go check out the testimonials in Discord. You can see lots of folks talking about the service and how the trade calls are super profitable. You can check Profit Gains channel. I think we've amassed around $150,000 worth of profits in the last year posted in the Profit Gains channel just from other users and traders in the community. I'd like all of you guys to check out the 14-day free trial. A coupon code will be pinned in the comment section below this video, so check it out. And we'll take you through 14-day free trial process here. You come down to the website, save 44%, and claim your 14-day free trial. Click on that. And that will take you to the Swing Trade Pros website where you can click sign up now. And after your 14-day free trial is up, on the 15th day you will get billed, full disclosure of that. And I appreciate you guys all joining the community. It will change your lives. Give it a chance. A lot of these swing trades can take months. One of our biggest trades of the year last year was INJ. We took an entry at $1.60, and well, that asset's trading over $35 today. So that was one of the banger trades that I pointed out. My strongest pattern that I trade that I'm known for is the falling wedge. I call it the falling node wedge pattern. Lots of divergence on these charts, and that's what makes these patterns really play out. And you guys are going to be able to really learn that in the service, and I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys on the charts.